United States of America, known as Land of the Free, Home of the Brave. America has come to symbolize freedom throughout the world. People from all nations and from all walks of life have called America their home. America has welcomed them with open arms. Indeed, the famed Statue of Liberty is the embodiment of the fulfillment of this dream. In New York's public education system alone, its student body represents 145 countries of the world. By welcoming all of the world's people and affording them unprecedented opportunities, America has embraced the most talented minds in all fields and from all countries. In becoming a true melting pot with few barriers to success, this young nation has become a model for others to follow. The United States has dozens of major cities, playing an important role in U.S. culture, heritage, and economy. In 2004, 251 incorporated places had populations of at least 100,000, and 9 had populations greater than 1 million, including 5 important global cities: New York City, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, and Philadelphia. In addition, there are 50 metropolitan areas with populations over 1 million, including Long Beach, Dallas, Boston, Phoenix, Seattle, and San Diego. With no official language, English is the de facto language of the United States. About 82% of the population speaks only English at home. Although not all Americans speak English, it is the most common language for daily interaction among both native and non-native speakers. Opportunities in this country are only limited by our imagination and our ability. Indeed, 2 of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, hail from America, and both started their companies from the ground up. But despite its success as one of the world's superpowers, the United States is also a very spiritual country, allowing freedom of worship to its citizens. Indeed, religion has traditionally played a large role in American society. Many of the original European colonists came to America for religious reasons. Religion still has a major influence on American politics and culture. As a liberal country that respects its citizens' right to worship, America has a deep affinity with Supreme Master Chinghai. She first visited America in the early 1990s in response to the earnest and sincere invitation of spiritual aspirants. Since then, Supreme Master Chinghai has accepted many invitations from around the country to share her wisdom and knowledge on spirituality. Over the years, with her boundless love and compassion, Supreme Master Chinghai has also provided humanitarian assistance to many parts of the country. For example, in 1993, many parts of the Midwest of the United States were flooded as a result of heavy rainfall. Supreme Master Chinghai's heart went out to these victims, and thus she immediately sent relief teams to this region to provide financial and material assistance. In 1994, in recognition of her compassion and contribution to these states, the governors of 6 Midwestern states, Illinois, Minnesota, Missouri, Iowa, Wisconsin, and Kansas, presented Supreme Master Chinghai with the World Spiritual Leadership Award, and also proclaimed February 22nd as Supreme Master Chinghai Day. And in the face of the worst human tragedy to ever occur on U.S. soil, on September 11, 2001, Supreme Master Chinghai had also responded by immediately sending relief teams from around the country and all over the world to Ground Zero in New York. Supreme Master Chinghai's financial contributions amounted to over $300,000 US to organizations aiding the victims. contributions were given to the Virginia chapter of the American Red Cross, National Red Cross in Washington, D.C., National Salvation Army, Crisis Link, an organization to help the families of the Pentagon victims, and the Virginia Hospital Center, where many of the injured victims from the Pentagon were treated. In New York, Supreme Master Chinghai's contributions were directed to the Salvation Army, the American Red Cross, and the Firefighters Memorial Fund. Additional contributions from Supreme Master Chinghai were allocated for relief supplies. Our association members on site at Ground Zero provided supplies, medicine, and daily nourishment of delicious vegetarian food and hot coffee to relief workers. For rescuers who were in areas too dangerous to leave, the Chinghai mobile meal truck, the only mobile food unit at the time, delivered food directly to those workers. As an embodiment of true love, Supreme Master Chinghai continues to this day to extend her loving compassion to all parts of the United States, from Virginia, Ohio, Kentucky, Alabama, to California, Florida, Texas, Hawaii, and other states, from the elderly to the homeless, the orphan and the impoverished, and victims of natural disasters. All are recipients of Supreme Master Chinghai's love. Everywhere she goes, Supreme Master Chinghai leaves an indelible impression on the hearts of all those who met her or received her unconditional assistance. For many, Supreme Master Chinghai's words of wisdom act like a loving balm that soothes their aching soul as they yearn to return to God's embrace. In early 1991, Supreme Master Chinghai accepted the sincere invitation of the Hare Krishnas to share her wisdom and knowledge of God at an interfaith conference. We now invite you to listen to the following lecture delivered by Supreme Master Chinghai entitled Supreme Master Chinghai and the Hare Krishnas on February 17, 1991 in West Virginia, USA.
Then you do not see the Holy Spirit comforter the way the Christians do. You don't see that when he was saying, I will send the comforter to you. Christians take that to mean that that is the Holy Spirit, which now, in fact, many of the Protestant churches, certainly the Disciples of Christ, First Christian Church, has now changed the pronoun he to she. Because we can't leave the feminine out of the church and have any power in the church. The women can't be just, shunted aside.
Oh, that's
and
amazing.
so I just wonder. It is amazing. They tried to leave us out for a long time. It doesn't work. So you take the power out of the religion when you leave out the women.
Yes.
So the thing is that I just wonder, you really think that, I had not thought of that before, that he really meant a living master rather than the Holy Spirit, having grown up in the tradition of the Christian church.
I do think
What
that
do you
way.
think, what are your thoughts on this?
The Holy Spirit leads the way, is a true comforter. It is correct too. But how do we know if it's not channeled into the physical presence of a living master? We are in the physical world. If it were easy for us to contact God directly or the Spirit directly, it need not Jesus to sacrifice and suffer so much. Yeah? It need not for him to waste his talent, life, and spiritual power, and so much hard work. You understand? After 19 years or 13 years of studying and searching and great enlightening, and then die after 3.5 years of preaching. It's a great waste and sacrifice if it's not for a real necessity. God would not allow that. Or he himself, Jesus, would not allow that. Because he was enlightened, he was talented, eloquent, handsome, young, and, forceful.
Thank you. You've given me a new perspective on this. I really appreciate it.
One of the respect, yes.
One time when I was in your community, since you were talking about...
Yes.
You were telling, I was there with Devamrita Swami at that time, and you were telling us about different types of disciples. And you said that, if I'm right, that one type of disciple just wants to worship, but another type of better than that are the disciples that want to do what you say to become pure, like your instruction is. You understand?
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
one is devoted and one is enlightened.
Okay, I wonder if you could explain the difference once again.
There is in reality no difference. It just appears difference in our physical understanding. Now, a devoted soul is very probably, if he's truly devoted, he's very selfless, egoless. Everything is his master. When he opens his mouth, it's my master. When he does something, it's my master. If he worships somebody, it's my master. If somebody asks him what is a virtuous person, it's my master. Everything is my master, okay? On the other hand, we can say, he's gone. Only his master is in him, right? And that is a true devoted person, very egoless. All right. On the other hand, when I say enlightened person, enlightened disciples, means he relies on himself and the instruction of the master, and he wants to become enlightened, just as his master does, in order to do what his master is doing, to lighten the master's burden and to help others people, to please his master. So when that person is enlightened, as the master's level, then he became like the master, right? And so he can do great work for the master. But the one who is devoted to his master and think his master is the only person in the world, as the only thing that is important, and he forgot all about himself, is also master. Yeah? How can you understand and love the master that much if you're not in a master level? In a real devotions, in a real devoted sense, you understand, not just outside worship and not just the half-half and not just that you believe that you are devoted but you are not truly devoted. All right? So I don't see any difference actually. Do you?
It's interesting. I don't
Yeah?
know. I'm still thinking about that.
What do you think? Is that correct, so?
It's interesting. I don't know.
Yeah? Okay. Then we will think about it together, okay? It's also the first time that somebody asked like that, and it's the first time I answer like that.
Maybe.
So it's new to me too.
Well, Prabhupada, in the introduction to his Bhagavad Gita, he was saying that if there's any credit that is due, it's not due to me, it's due to my master.
Yes.
Yet, he was self-realized. So the same things are there.
Oh yeah, okay. Then maybe I'm correct again. You see, I always quote your master or the other master said in your lineage. So it must be an authorized statement that confirm my correctness. It's good. I never read it, but tonight I just say everything that in Krishna movements and Bibles without even studying them. Yes, I didn't study them. Or if I read this book, I have not come across to things like what I said to you today. What I said is purely for my own understanding. And it just coincidentally that is a parallel with the Krishna Bible, okay? I didn't steal it. Just for example, like I said, I am that I am. Well, I know this statement, but I never made it the way I did it today, and I never mentioned that name before. Just today, just for you, perhaps, without planning. You know what I mean? I never used that phrase before. I expressed the idea in another form, but I never said directly, I am that I am, and it was so correct at that moment to express the situation and my feeling, but I never did it before. Just like what I said, and then your master said, well, Chaitanya also said like that, simultaneous awareness. Okay, I never said that also, I never studied that, but it's okay, it's correct. Yeah? It's a confirmation of...
I said, because I don't understand. On the one hand, correct me if I'm wrong, you're saying that one disciple is is talking about the master and does everything for the master, all his deeds. And then the other hand, another disciple is doing the same thing, but what's the difference? I don't see where the difference is.
Yes, there is a difference between the understanding of both.
But the end is the same.
Yes, the end is the same, but each follow his different direction. I tell you why. It's the ego. Now, one who is born with less ego or without ego, and it's easy for him to absorb himself into the master and think always in terms of the master and lost himself in the master, and he became the master, manifested, you understand, in another body, okay? Now, the other one also believe in the master and follow the master, but he has a little bit of ego maybe. He thought he has to become a master. He will become a master. He must be enlightened. Whereby the other one, he didn't care. He couldn't care less. He never think of being enlightened or be a master. He loved his master so much he forgot what he wants. Okay? So this is only the ego that plays in between, okay?
Now it makes perfect sense.
Makes sense, huh?
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad. I'm also happy. It's the first time I even think of it. It's new to me, too. Yes.
Jesus said that God is love. And Paul said that there's only one law, and that is the law of love. And if you love, then you have fulfilled the law in its entirety. And, Jesus says, by their fruits you shall know them. And I think Paul said in the fruit that comes is love. And so I say that the goal of all these...
Is there a connection between that sentence and the love you were spoken about?
In my mind, I'm just connecting them for sake of what I'm getting at.
Okay.
And that is that I say, and I just wonder if you say, or I'm thinking that that the end of all religious, the end of all the religions are to love, period, to love everything. And so, if a person has arrived at this point where they do love everything, or at least they're on their way to that point, then who cares exactly how you get there, what the particular path is, but the goal is the same. You see.
What do you mean Jesus said different and Paul said different, but both arrive at the same conclusion? And so would we, if we take different paths, right?
Yeah, well, like Buddhist, Muslim, Christian, your average person on the street, whatever they happen to be doing, if they're a loving, compassionate person, then who really cares what their religion is, or if they have no religion at all?
It's true. That's exactly what it is. That's why probably Buddha said, don't need God. There's no God. You understand? Just follow the instruction, be a good person, be enlightened. Why should we mention the name of God at all? Or why should we, you understand, discuss whether God or not God? We must know God and not talk about God. Maybe like that, yeah? It's true. But please know that God, love has so many different aspects and so much level. One is the human love and physical attraction, which is misunderstood for love, and the karmic bondage, which is also misinterpreted as love, and the other level of love, which is non-love. You understand? You love without knowing that you love. And people just know that you are loving and you have great love, but you don't feel anything. Otherwise, it's a weight on your shoulder to carry that love. Understand? And that is a true love. That is God, not the human love, not the so-called charitable deeds, action, and thought, okay? Or the bondage between man and woman, or the affection between parents and children, or friends.
Yeah, because I hear a lot of talk of love of God.
Don't talk about it.
And
they don't understand.
And what I'm saying is that if I came to God and said, "Oh God, I love you so much," I think the only thing that he would really have to say to me is, "Oh God, I love you, how can I serve you?" And he says, "By loving my children." I don't know of any other way on earth to show my love for God or to serve God other than loving people.
Oh, that's good that you serve his children. But what I mean is when you talk about real love, you understand, it's a very high level of love. And some people do charitable works without having love. Don't need to have love to do charitable works. Or you don't need to have love to do service. You know what I mean? You might not have the true love or the complete love that is supposed to be God or God's quality. Yes? Now, how can we discriminate? It's easy, because many people do things for a purpose. For example, like to go to heaven with this merit, or like just to do things because everybody say charitable, this is good. Serving other people are serving God, yeah? Without truly putting the whole heart and soul into it. And also there are people who do it for fame, all right? Therefore, it's not necessary. Love, that's all. I don't mean everyone is like that, but mostly, okay? I must be careful sometimes. But the love of God and the love that is God, we cannot know until we are completely one with God. You agree?
I think I don't love too much, and I hope I get there someday. In the talk that you're talking, I do a lot of work like that.
Love is
without love. Exactly.
Love is something contagious. It can be spread, can be inflicted. Yeah, when you are around around a person who is full of love, without knowing he is loving, okay, you get transmitted. And then you just go on loving without knowing too, if you're really receptive. Yeah, even if you're not that receptive or believing in the power of the love of that person, you get something. That's why people like to be associated with saintly person, because they're supposed to carry the love which is godly, true love, you know, not the human sentiment. Not the human sentiment and attachment. It's a true love, which is not describable. You just love to be in that person's presence, and you don't know why. You don't need to do anything, and that person don't need to do anything to you. You just feel good. You just feel loved. You know, that is a kind of love that is very godly, selfless, unconditional, and untainted with any language or explanation.
I remember reading one sutra called Brahmajala Sutra. So he was speaking to a whole assembly of disciples, and he said to them, some of you monks, some of you yogis, some of you ascetics, you think that the absolute truth is this. It is none of these things. And he repeated that maybe 10 times. And at the end of each explanation, he would say, it is not like that. I know, because I have seen face to face. So my question is, did Sakyamuni refer to, in other teachings, a personality to whom he felt that he was subservient, or he was representing a higher personality? Now, in the whole pantheon of...
You mean